Well, this is the inside of the workshop as it is at the moment, and tomorrow starts the installation work and the final boards will go on. So all these 3x2 timbers that you see, you won't see those, they'll be covered by boards. Eventually we'll have a worktop at either end. I had thought about putting it along the length of the workshop, but I mocked up my ABBA stand, mocked up a 7-foot bike, just using wood, and just decided that, you know, the best bet was being able to rotate the ABBA stand. If I can rotate it 360 degrees, then that's going to give me the best working environment. And I couldn't do that if I made this workbenches. So workbenches are going to go at the end. It's a 14x8 workshop, which really means it's a 13.5 by 7.5, and the garage is what, 15.5 by 9 and a bit. So when you consider over the years everything that I've had in that garage, you know, the amount of bikes and tool chests and everything else that's been in there, just to have one bike in here, it's going to be it'll be a fine bit of space for working on a bike, and then having areas that I can put stuff on. Alright, here we are then. Day one of the installation, and as you can see, most of the insulation is now in. The roof's still to be done, but the electrics are starting to go in. So you can see there's going to be double sockets at either end. A tripper box there, and there'll be again double sockets at either end here. So that'll be really great. That'll be like eight sockets in the workshop, which will be absolutely fantastic. Double sockets, so pretty good. And the armour cable has been run from the house. So what we've got is this foam insulation. We've got the damp proof sheet that goes on top of that. And then we've got the OSB board, which is the final part, if you like, of the insulation, as well as being useful for putting all the electrical elements on. The LED lights coming on in here. Here you can see the two ends of armoured cable. One of these is coming from the house. They had to put it under the solar. We've got a solar that you can get under. So it's come from the area where the fuse box is at the moment, under the house, under outside, and eventually into here. And we've got a second cable, which is probably this one actually, which is being run. It's going to be run to the garage. And that's going to give us power into the workshop and the garage. I've had the garage for over 13 years. I've never had power in it. I've always just run an extension into it when I've been doing stuff, which was a pain in the neck. So it's going to be great to have power in the garage as well as the workshop. And then obviously there's been some work going on out here, hence why this has been unscrewed at the moment, but you can see the cable coming from under the solum. So this is under the floorboard of the kitchen. This is down in the solum because the house is built on an area at that end that's virtually 5 foot in height. Before, you know, that's where our floor starts, 5 foot up. And that's how the armoured cable has come out the house. It's run down the back of the fence. Then I would imagine that there's going to be another bit here somewhere. So this gaps are to allow me to get round to doing work, and yes, there's the rest of the armoured cable there. So that's going to be run into the garage somehow, and current armour cable is coming in via this way. Well, after nearly 14 years we now have electricity, or the potential of electricity coming into the garage. I've always just used that reel there to unwind it and run it into the house whenever I wanted these lights on or power. But these are going to be obsolete, and we're now going to have electricity into the garage in a week's time, just under a week's time. That'll be done. But it's slowly going in place. There's still a bit of work to tidy that up obviously, but it's getting there. Great move forward. And today's work, which I can take no credit for, we have got all the insulation in, all been lined, all the wiring is in place, everything's on that needs to be wired. The breaker box is still to go in the corner. It was in the corner, they must have took it down when they had to do the ceiling. But that's a massive stage forward. Well, let's see. Our latest update then is, I can't remember what the last update I did was, but the electrics are now in. The insulation's all done. You can see there's lots of scraps left over. These are a couple of shutters I've got for the windows. I've insulated these doors are 5 foot wide, so it's quite an area not to insulate. So I've insulated the door. This door will not get opened a lot, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But the door that's going to get open most of the time is this one, and I've put a couple of boards up on that just to keep things in place. Done in a very amateurish way. I'm not a joiner, which you can tell a mile away. But it's all plumbed in. The armour cable has been run. I probably said that in a previous video. We're going to have 4 double sockets at either end. This is torch felt. This is going to be going over the top of the felt that's on the roof. It's a very medium type felt. This stuff is a lot more heavy duty, so that's going to get put on over the roof. And it's getting there. It's by Monday we're getting the fuse box changed in the house, because the original fuse box is a wired fuse box. We should have replaced it years ago. So we're getting that done, and that's getting replaced, and the armoured cable has been presented to where that fuse box is, and it'll be getting hooked up on Monday hopefully. So hopefully have electrics in here on Monday. Because all we're going to have to do is come in and switch it on here. Armoured cable, we've got another break coming from the armoured cable from the box in the workshop. So it's going into the workshop, and it's coming back out the workshop, it's coming in here, and then it's presenting its own breaker box here. And obviously, just to make it easy for the chap who was doing it, I just said, look, just put a board at this end and stick the sockets there. The idea that most of the work I'll do in the workshop, but at least the garage is still going to be usable for years I've done things in here. You know, I've had to straddle around things and work bikes and rotate bikes around, and there's always been 2 or 3 bikes in this garage. You know, it's always been the case. Very rarely gets down to a couple. Well, here we are. This is the night before the final work commences on the workshop. It's been, you know, when you're probably watching this, it's probably all going to be put together, but the time frame for getting this done has been weeks. Probably the best part of a month, really, that, you know, the point that the workshop went up as a workshop, and then all the work that followed on with the electrics and the insulation and lights and so forth, power. But we are almost there. Hopefully after tomorrow we'll have workbenches and this metal sheeting on the floor here. There's 2 sheets of metal here, 3mm steel, and that's going to be for, one's going to be for the worktops, and the other one is going to stay on the floor just to help to take or spread the load of the lift. That's the plan with that. And as I just stated, I've got electrics in the garage now. Same sort of setup there, 4 sockets this time in the garage. Garage isn't going to be overly used for anything now maintenance wise. It's done 14 years of servicing me. I've done some service, some small restoration in it, but most of the time it's just been bikes going in and out. A lot of things piled up now because it's waiting to go into next door. That's why it's like this now, because I'm waiting on everything getting done next door and stuff will be fitting. It certainly has served me well. Anyway, tomorrow we'll see a whole new setup, hopefully. And if I'm lucky and I'm feeling fit enough and I'm not too late from work, I might start moving some of this stuff in under the benches if they get them built. But that's it for now. I'll sign off. Bye for now.